I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, hello, and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. So happy to be back on YouTube. It's nice.
All is right in the world again.
That's right.
We're
Here
out
we
of
go.
jail, yay!
Yep.
We just gotta be good till October, and then we get our strike removed,
Okay.
which is something I'm very happy about.
Okay, so
I don't know
we
if
got
I
to be
can
careful.
be good till October.
We just nothing even close remotely to nudity. Not even a man titty.
Okay.
All right.
Luckily, I don't have one of those.
You can't be the person to. If we get another strike, then are you gone for another 7 days, or is it even worse?
It's worse. You're gone for 14 days.
Oh, dang.
Same kind of jail time, and you're gone. You sit out for 2 weeks.
We got to figure out our own platform.
Whoa.
We can't let them have this much power over us.
That's
But we're going to
crazy.
be okay. Now we've been punched in the face. So now when we walk down the alleyway, we know there's a chance to be punched in the face. So we walk down the alleyway a little bit different is all.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't like this alleyway.
Well,
What are we doing in an alley?
YouTube's the alleyway.
We just need to make our own platform and give double birds to YouTube.
Yeah.
No, starting up.
I want male nipples. I want to see Jason's saggy ass cheeks. And if that's what gets us kicked off of YouTube, I don't want to be on YouTube.
No, starting up a new platform from scratch is not at all sound time consuming or daunting whatsoever.
Denny's, you got to start a new
I
platform.
mean, how many motherfucking platforms are we going to start, y'all?
Right.
We've been trying to build this one up.
You can put it on whichknowscutetoes.com. I own that.
Okay. Well, steps. And the cool thing is we will be on Facebook and Twitch as well, because we don't have to deal with copywritten music in the after the show.
Ah.
Yeah. So that'll be good.
Other thing that would help us out, not to sound like a complete begging whore over here, but liking a lot and commenting a lot of our videos that are coming up will help us with our algorithm getting that back to normal. Because
Okay.
our algorithm may be a little slow in the beginning for
Right.
what I've researched.
Okay.
Oh, so the punishing continues?
Just don't be surprised if all of a sudden there's a slow moving tick on some videos for a little bit. They really want to slap the taste out your mouth.
Dang.
I know.
They take it seriously with their punishments.
They really do.
For just a little man ass.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like balls or D.
No,
It was just a little man ass.
Yeah.
He didn't even give him the bung.
No.
I guess that's enough, huh?
Bung. That's such a terrible
I'd like to
word.
give him the bung.
That's such a dated word, bung.
Well, I'm a dated girl. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I got some interesting local things that are going on here in South Florida. I think it was Panchita put it on our radar. Entertainment Tonight has been live from the Colony Hotel in Palm Beach all this week.
Wow. Is that about your Palm Royale?
Might be. I would imagine it's connected because the fact that Palm Royale got 11 Emmy nominations, that's pretty good. The Apple TV show. Mindy Cohn today we were talking about, she's a part of it. Kristen Wiig, Carol Burnett got an Emmy nomination.
I can't wait to watch it one of these days.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it more as the season went on.
Even though it's not technically 100% shot in Palm Beach, you said it still looks really good, and they did a great job of depicting what Palm Beach is like. And so that right there, I'm into it.
I think the only thing that they start off and there is a shot showing you where the club would be, the Club Royale. And it would be, I think, Bath and Tennis, because you see Mar-a-Lago. And then they do a shot, an external. They have a big party at what would be the Breakers. And it looks like it, could be the Breakers from, 1969.
Ooh.
But other than that, I don't even know that was necessarily shot. That could be a CGI thing where they took it and modified it. I don't think any of it shot on Palm Beach because they won't let them.
Right. They have all those strict codes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of stupid, I think.
Well, Palm Beach, they don't play. I hear right now Palm Beach is kind of going after the Secret Service because they now, after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, they have closed down the road in front of Mar-a-Lago that goes from, there's a roundabout that is on the southern side, and then they are covering the property to the north. And that really causes a massive problem. If you'd have to go all the way down that road and turn around, basically. And that's a lot. That's not easy to get in and out of that area. It's a massive inconvenience for people that are trying to get down. If you just need to get down that little stretch of road, you driving around that is a massive inconvenience.
Who will win in the long term in the battle of Palm Beach Island versus Secret Service?
I think Secret Service, and now, because look, that is a hot button issue, and they will have the federal government on their side. And, you know, it's something where yesterday they had the FBI director. He was in front of Congress yesterday trying to answer questions about the shooter. And, you know, right now, so many people are upset. And at the federal level, they'll say, no, we're not messing around with this. Because if they got another shot off at Donald Trump and connected this time, the thing they don't want is conspiracy theories. And they don't want people to think that the government is trying to assassinate and kill somebody that could viably be the president of the United States. That's when you really get into deep state kind of.
But the way it's been handled,
it makes it look like somebody on the inside wants Donald Trump dead.
You're just giving people who believe in conspiracy theories, you're giving them a fucking fresh
You're giving them
platter
too much fresh platter.
Well, I mean, even if you don't believe in conspiracy theories, you just have a lot of questions. When you have a lot of questions and you have somebody, you know, in front of Congress and they're not answering the questions, basic questions, you start to go, what the fuck's going on
That's
here?
why the Secret Service director had to step down the day after she had just bombed, just didn't handle it right. When you had Republicans and Democrats both coming at you with the same kind of energy.
They've never agreed on anything.
Yeah.
But they can agree that they hate you and you didn't do your job well.
It was one of the few times our
energy
country came together.
It was hot. The energy was equally hot on both sides. You didn't know who was what. That was what was fascinating. Is my wife doesn't know the politics like I do, and she was asking. She's like, "Are they Republican or Democrat?" Like, they're Democrat. She's like, "You can't tell the difference."
And you're like, babe, it's usually not like this.
No, it's not.
They never agree.
They were united in just how catastrophically the situation had been fucked up.
So when I was watching that, my whole question was this: did she go in there with her own personal strategy of not answering? Did she get counseled to not say anything? Did somebody say, here's what you do when you go in there, don't answer anything? Or was that a personal choice?
No one can explain it. No one can explain what she did.
Bizarre.
Well, people had said that she could have answered the questions that wouldn't have revealed anything about how they do and protect presidents or presidential candidates. All that could have been done a certain way. They could have also called, if she had to, said, we have to do this behind closed doors. We can't do this with cameras. And there could have been other ways to do it. She just completely botched it. And they were all already calling into question her leadership. And then the fact that she looked like that in front of Congress, then they're just like, okay. And I imagine somebody came to her and said, hey, the best thing to do is you need to resign. I had heard from inside the Secret Service, too. They were very frustrated, and they felt embarrassed by it. And they then felt their director did not represent them well.
I mean, it was a classic case of shitting the bed.
It was poor leadership. So yesterday you had the FBI director, Christopher Wray, and you didn't get a ton, but he did bring a couple things that were fascinating. One, the shooter had Googled about the assassination of JFK. How far away was Lee Harvey Oswald on that shot? So he was trying to figure out, okay, am I in range? Can I do this? And then he also was able to fly a drone over the site for 11 minutes to survey security in the staging area. They didn't have drones. The shooter did. It's laughable, right? I mean,
that's a joke.
That's why you get to that point.
Every day I feel like there's a new angle of the shooter coming in from. This is where he was making a sandwich for 16 minutes while he's holding his gun. Like, every single day there's a new thing.
And that's why right now the Secret Service is going to win, because it's going to be a federal thing over the town of Palm Beach. I know the town of Palm Beach is very powerful, but they're not going to win this because they have to get the information out there, because there are people sniffing down the path of was this a conspiracy to kill Donald Trump? And so they've got to get the information out. They got to back people off of that and fast.
There are people who still think JFK was done by the government, and there's still a conspiracy on that.
I'm one of them.
You think the government off
I
JFK?
do. You need to listen to that Marilyn Monroe documentary on Netflix, and then you realize, wow, there's some weird stuff going on.
Well, it's not that the government hasn't done fucking crazy things in the past. I mean, once you do one crazy thing, you have to look at things differently.
It's possible. And look, people look at our government agencies differently than they used to. And a lot of people think that they are part of conspiracies. So when you have something like this that went down that is just that wacky and nothing adds up, then you have to answer questions and fast, because the longer you lay it out there, 9 days is what she had to get information out. She did no press conferences, answered no questions, got in front of Congress, did nothing more. And then people started talking, said, yep, see, told you. Told you.
She gave him too much.
Yeah. That's why she had to go. And I imagine that people, even that appointed her said, I'm sorry, you got to get out of here. So that's how it all went down. But one thing we'd heard about Mar-a-Lago is they're getting ready to jack up their rates to $1 million. You got to pay, I don't think the annual's that, but you have to pay the initiation fee, and it's going to go from $700,000 to $1 million. And Jeff, who used to work at Mar-a-Lago, left us this comment.
Guys, Mar-a-Lago sucks. I worked there for 5 years during his presidency. Everybody's pretentious a-holes there. It's the last place in the world you would ever pay $1 million to be a member for. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. That was some of the comments I'd seen on the post I saw. I've been there, and look, I am not a big fan of gold. That doesn't do it for me. It's
a lot of gold leaf and inlay.
There
and
is.
Fixtures and doorknobs and just anything you could imagine. Even the damn toilets are gold.
It wasn't my style of fancy, but some of the comments it said, for a place that's that expensive, it has a look and feel. Like you go into some restaurants, right? And you're like, it feels a little run down.
Or
There's just something about it.
Or dated.
Yes. And, that's what they were saying the feel of Mar-a-Lago was. So.
But you don't go because you want to have a new carpet. You go because you want to move and shake. You're a big fan of Donald Trump. You want to show your support, and you want to be able to get help if you need help with any of your dealings.
Yeah.
Deals are done at Mar-a-Lago.
They are. Yeah, they are. There's a guy that I know that does really big real estate deals, and I'd seen him at a party, and he's like, yeah, he was heading over there. And it's just the people that he was, saying he was going to meet and hang out with. Yeah, that's what it is. So, if you make that kind of money, then you want to be there just because that's where people who have that kind of money hang out. So,
and it's worth it. If you get deals, then you have to look at it and go, okay, yeah, I paid $1 million, but I made 20.
Yep. And it's going to be a little chaotic on the roads tomorrow. So just kind of a heads up, because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is going to be at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow. Already they got that road closed down, and I don't know if you saw the protest with him speaking in Washington, D.C., but if that even a touch of that comes our way, and then they got this convention at the Palm Beach County Convention Center, and Donald Trump speaking either tomorrow or Saturday. I can't remember which day it is, but you're going to see some wonky traffic. So just kind of keep that in mind, that you may be like, what the hell is going on with traffic around here? So it might be a little nutty in West Palm this weekend. Something else was going on. My cousins are hanging on Palm Beach this week for their anniversary, and they said yesterday they were in Kachina, and they saw this celebrity chef Robert Irvine was there.
Oh, we love him.
Yeah, he was, I guess he's debuting a new vodka and gin.
Oh.
I feel like Robert Irvine, if he had to, he could fuck you up.
He could fuck you up.
He looks
jacked.
like he does look like he's jacked, and he looks like he could fight.
He
No doubt, yeah.
absolutely could fight.
He's old
His
guy
wife
strong.
is a fighter.
Really? Yeah.
He's old guy strong, and that really is a thing where some of these old dogs out there, they got old man muscles, they have old man strength, and if they get you in a headlock, you are done, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gail Kim is his wife, and
Okay.
she was, I think, at a WWE Royal Rumble. She's a TNA Hall of Famer and WWE legend.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know who that is.
Gail Kim is hot, and she knows
Okay.
all about. I'm sure they grapple and fight.
I didn't know they were married.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Huh. Okay. Well, but guys, I guess it makes sense. I got an email here from Ryan from Lake Worth Beach. He's talking about the CSI episode that was on CBS last night. It's CSI Miami. I think it was what the real CSI. It's got some kind of title. I've never seen the show, but it was about a murder that happened outside of Ballin Isle in Palm Beach Gardens, right off of PGA. In fact, I think it happened kind of right off PGA Boulevard. Do you see where you pull into Ballin Isle?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it was kind of like in that field that happened. I think it was like 2018, something like that. I didn't really remember it.
It sounds familiar to me.
It's pretty good. I
There's a lot of
recorded it
murder in
last
gardens.
night, and I tried watching it here today, this morning, and so I was watching a little bit between commercial breaks. And where I got to, and I'm only going to tell you where I got to because I think it brings you in without ruining it. I was reading Ryan's email, and he kind of gives it all away, and I won't do that. But it's like a 71-year-old dude talked about how everybody liked him, always smiles on his face, played golf with people. Just a friendly kind of dude. He was found with a hollow point bullet in his gut. Hollow points, they go in and they're supposed to kind of mushroom inside the body to, it's not something that's you typically find. It's not like a regular round typically. It's like what cops will have. So he was killed with that. One shot into the gut did it. And they found a clip right by his body that would clip papers together, or some people might use it to clip money together inside of your wallet. And they're trying to figure out a motive. It looked like he'd been losing some money when it came to his retirement fund, and he had a very large life insurance policy. And so they're trying to figure out who would benefit. And he had an estranged daughter. Didn't sound like he was very tight with some of his kids. He'd been married once before, 2 biological kids there, and had kids from another marriage. And so that's where I am, where as much as he was awesome to everybody at the club, it doesn't sound like he was that great with his kids.
That happens. There are plenty of people out there that are great charmers out there in the public. When it comes to their personal life, they're terrible fathers, or they're...
So it's interesting to people that only know club face you to be surprised that you could kind of be a prick to your kids.
You see that sometimes with athletes where they're out in the open and everyone loves them, but when it comes to the family life, they are not very good. I'm not saying all athletes.
Right.
but-
So it's local. So it drew me in. I can't wait to watch the end of it, even though now I kind of know what happened. It's an interesting twist. I don't know how I didn't know this story. But Bob said, yeah, I really enjoyed the show last night for a couple of reasons. One, it's very interesting. And two, I went to high school with Detective Rick Moretti. It's always fun to watch when you know people involved. And
It is. That's why it was so weird when I saw the one of the dude I went to school with that murdered his wife.
Yes.
That was weird watching that, because the whole landscape. It happened in Jupiter.
In Abacoa.
Yeah, you recognize the landmarks. I grew up with that dude. It was weird.
That
man.
is weird. That's too close. I like them where you don't know nothing. You don't know the people. You don't know the area. It's just a crazy murder story far away.
yeah. And Yasik had mentioned, too, I only saw just the framings on this, but a fascinating one that happened, the murder for hire plot. It was in Miami. Pina, I guess was his last name. This guy was an affluent dude, had a lot of money, and it was a whole murder for hire thing, and I guess it all crumbled down. I can't remember, was he going to, maybe he had a hit out to get his wife or something like that, and he wound up taking his own life. Committed suicide, I guess, when the feds closed in on him.
I hate when that happens.
Because he knew it was up.
I hate when the person doing wring takes their own life.
Yeah.
They take I hate it.
I think that's what that was about. But that's another one that, because, this guy, tons of money, multi-millionaire. Big, notorious guy.
That was here in South Florida?
It was Miami, yeah. I just, if we were doing more true crime on the show, I would have done a deeper dump on it.
We have got no shortage of murder scenarios down here in South Florida, whether it's that kind of stuff, whether it's just cold case files. We have a shit ton of cold case files, not only in South Florida, but just in our county alone, Palm Beach County. It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of these, like to your point, a lot of these cases do not get reported on. And if they do, it's a quick little story on the news, never to be heard from ever again. People go missing all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that Ryan got out of the show, though, and hopefully this doesn't ruin it, he said, I had no clue that your phone physically records your voice for voice searches. So if you use, my dad does it all the time. He's like, Alexa, tell me how many da-da-da-da-da. It records and stores your voice somewhere. It's not like it just immediately deletes it or it just disappears.
Oh, yeah. None of us are off the grid. They've got us by the balls or the clit, I guess. I'm sorry. I try to clean that up, but it just sounded more vulgar.
They got me by the clit.
Maybe I should have said lips, maybe. Balls or lips, right?
Speaking of clit, I got a layover in Charlotte. Their airport code is CLT. I got a layover in clit tonight. Who names their airport CLT?
Someone who really loves clits.
When you said clit, it made me think of it. I was like, those are the 3 letters y'all chose, Charlotte Airport.
But when it comes to that expression, they really got us by the balls. What would be the female version of that? They got us by the lips?
Titties?
They got us by the titties? I don't know. I feel like that's too benign.
All right, let's do the clit.
Not clit. Clit's too vulgar. I think, they got us by the lips. No, is that...
Clam?
They got us by the clam.
Ovaries?
They got us by the ovaries. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it.
Okay.
All right, we've settled on ovaries.
Okay, that's how we're going with that. Okay. All right, interesting. Got a comment here from Jeff, too. We'd just heard from him about Mar-a-Lago, and we were talking about the ratings for Broward County School District. They got to an A. Palm Beach County returned to an A, and Miami-Dade stayed an A for a school rating, but he said the school rating is a fix. The GOP-controlled State House changed the parameters for rating to boost the numbers. It's all BS. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that was ever a thing. When I saw numbers, FBI crime stats, school rankings, and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, it's all legit. But, yeah, I kind of started to realize people have pointed out in the last couple of years that, yeah, I don't know, there's ways that they manipulate those numbers to get them to read what they want. So, yeah, again, it just goes to a world of we live in where you don't know what you can ever believe.
I know.
Crazy.
Well, that's what makes everything tough is kind of now wanting to believe stuff, but knowing you can't really believe everything. And that's an odd place to be mentally as a human.
Amen.
That blurred line is weird.
I don't trust anything.
Yeah.
Even if you see a video of a guy talking, like you don't know that it's him.
Well, what sucks is you've seen video where a guy's really talking and it's real. You've also seen video where it's not real. So now you're all confused and up is down is left.
Elon Musk is an alien.
Yeah, he even said the other day, he said he was alien. And he was doing a press conference and somebody asked him, they said, a lot of people think you're an alien. He's like, yes, I am an alien.
I mean, if he turns out to actually be an alien, joke's on us.
Because he even told us, he's like, yeah, I'm an alien.
I'm an alien, bitch. What are you going to do about it?
He has a star fleet.
Yeah. I think he likes it. I think he really wants people to think of him that he's an alien.
He's leaning into alien.
Virginia, these look like Star Wars ships.
I know.
They don't look like regular planes, man.
What are we in?
Yeah.
What are we in?
Yeah, it's really kind of crazy. Now, this is interesting. You talk about what to believe and what not. Here's how you can spot AI-generated photos. There's a study they did, and they found that people can spot fakes by closely looking at the human's eyes in the photos.
Oh.
When you look at photos of a real person, the light reflections of both eyes should match, but that isn't always the case in AI-generated photos. The light doesn't match because AI doesn't always get the physics of light reflection right.
Wow.
It's funny, too. I'm not sure if you had the story or not, but I'm noticing on YouTube, first of all, I can tell when it's AI-generated kind of content within about a minute of how they're narrating it, how they're saying stuff. But in the description area, they will say this content was made by AI-generated whatever. Mm-hmm. Do they have to let you know that now? Was there a new
I think
rule?
you're supposed to. Yeah, I think you're supposed to designate that. Social media platforms have it. Because I saw that freaking video of that guy that was walking the tightrope between two sailboats in Biscayne Bay. I was like, that's freaking amazing. Somebody's like, I think that's AI. I was like, damn, dude.
Oh, they got
That
us.
was the coolest thing. And you know what? It looked crystal clear. The video was fantastic. Yeah, I think. I mean, somebody mentioned, I'm like, you know what? It probably was. That makes perfect sense. Because it was just too damn cool and too perfect.
Well, I'm just noticing the shit that annoys me. I'll be watching something. It's a news story or a dirt story, and I'll be watching it. And I'll go, this sounds weird. Then I'll scroll down to the comments, and the first thing I'll say, this has been generated by AI, almost as if it's a new thing you have to put on there because they don't want. Look, it's causing mass confusion.
Yeah, you can't tell the difference. You really can't. So, that's what you're dealing with. And it just makes you wonder, if I were an actor or an actress, I think I'd be a little, and I were just starting out, I think I might be slightly concerned to say, all right, in 20 years, are they even going to be using actors and actresses that much?
That's why your boy Bryan Cranston's so vocal about it. He I think he kind of fears that for the future. And you're right. I think anybody in the art world, whether it's writing music or doing painting or acting, any of that stuff, that's where it's going to get hairy and crazy, and you're going to see a lot of people fighting against it.
I can't remember who it was in the last month or two. A person was talking about your entertainment in the future, and they said that AI, digital and audio, is going to get to a point where you say it and it will create it that easily. That you can come up with your own plot, and you will now have people creating their own movies using AI, coming up with a plot line, speaking to it, and then a computer will create it as they speak to it. And more of what you will see is smaller groups of people exchanging the content they've created amongst each other.
I think you might see that with music too. For example, let's say Drake signs a deal where you can use my likeness or whatever. There's going to be a program where if Kevin wants to go home and make up his own new Drake song, he'll hit A, B, 3, 1, 2, and it's going to spit out a Drake song that Drake will now give the rights to Kevin to listen to, but it's going to be a unique song that Kevin did in a Drake style, and you'll be able to own that if the artist signs off. And you're going to start seeing more individual niche playlists with people. I don't think radio is going to go anywhere because it's free, and I think you're always going to have big dogs kind of leading the way. But I think we're going to get to a point where you're going to be having and consuming such niche content, even down to your music. You already do it now with your shows.
Well, you think about content creators. How many of them are there now on all the social media platforms that are making their own videos and they're doing things to try to entertain you? It seems like everybody now wants to be a content creator. They said that would be the same concept, but the barrier to entry is going to be nothing because you say it and it will exist.
Be ready for a lot of horse shit. Kind of like when you go through Netflix, you have to sift through some shit.
Yes.
If everyone's doing it, there's going to be some shit.
And they said that's going to be the issue, how you're going to ever get anything to float to the top.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of bullshit.
Because you think there's a ton of content out there right now, it will be 1,000 times more intense with songs, movies, short clips, everything you're going to see.
There's a ton of shitty content out there.
Absolutely. It's going to get shittier.
It's going to get, it will, it's going to get shittier. It will.
I'm going to post a shitty video today.
Well, when your grandma's able to make her own video, it's going to fall. Nothing against your grandma. She's 95.
My grandma would slap on YouTube Shorts.
How old is she?
No, she's 100.
She's 100. That's right. That's
She
insane.
turned 100.
That's insane.
She's 100 and a half.
That might be some kind of record in the state of Texas. I'd like to see who the oldest is in Texas.
She's in Kentucky.
Well, we'll
I was going to say, when did you go to Texas?
We'll do Kentucky as well.
Do you even know me?
I think I do. That's the sad thing. I just don't listen.
Well, if you want to talk about real acting, I've been watching Only Murders in the Building. I'm on season 3. It's Steve Martin Short. They're the two people behind it. They're good friends. They tour together comically. I know they played the Kravis Center, I think, about a year ago.
They do commercials together.
Yeah,
they're buddies.
Yeah, and so this is a fun project for them. But, of course, they're connected to so many good actors and actresses. Nathan Lane is in it a good bit. He's just one. Meryl Streep is in this new season. Good Lord, she can act. It's unreal. And Yasik said, yeah, I just want to thank you, Kev, for the recommendation for Only Murders in the Building. OMG, that show is so funny, especially season 3, episode 4, when Steve Martin's character goes white room. My Lord, I had to leave my office because I was laughing so hard, and every time I think about it, I laugh. The concept is sometimes actors will get on stage and they call it the white room, where they almost blank out in their head and they go to a place and they come out of it, they have no recollection. It's just kind of like you maybe freak out or...
Yeah, you get the yips.
Yes, you get the yips and you just whatever. And so Steve Martin has this thing he keeps going through where he has to do something he's not comfortable with. And so every time he gets in front of the crowd, he just white rooms it. And then when he comes to, his hair's all messed up and he's like, and everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe what you just said. And like his pants are off and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's great murder mystery. It's well written. There's all kinds of twists and turns if you like that kind of stuff. But then there's a lot of comedy in it as well. And the characters are all great.
Well, you've got Steve Martin, who is a fucking legend, man. The guy's been doing it since the 70s. And not only doing it from the 70s, nailing it from the 70s.
They're just all nailing
through his
it.
entire career. It's Martin Short, too.
Selena Gomez is very good. She's young, but she's great in it.
Yeah.
Like everyone in it is just really good.
I don't know if you've ever seen the Steve Martin movie called Roxanne. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I remember.
He's
Way
a
back in the
fire
day.
marshal. He has a long nose, and he's in love with Daryl Hannah's character. You ever see that?
Never watched it. Back in the day, my dad loved Steve Martin.
That's such a good movie. You would
The
like
Jerk.
that.
We watched. The Jerk. We watched a lot in my house.
And an underrated Steve Martin movie that I think everyone, especially if you have kids, Parenthood is an outstanding movie.
Yeah,
It's really a great
He really
movie.
has a strong resume. And Yasik said, yeah, he's 78.
And
He looks great.
he don't
He's
come off
still-
like 78
No,
to me,
he does
man.
not. He like 58, maybe 64 tops. But yeah, he and Martin Short both still really good. Do you have any other TV show recommendations? Something funny? You know how much I love comedy. Yeah, as they keep popping up. Yeah, I'd still got to get through season 3, and then it'll be on to something else. So I do appreciate that. Panchita said a couple things to check out. The Long Game. It is based on the San Felipe High School golf team in Del Rio, Texas. A rejected Mexican golfer and veteran forms a Mexican golf team to compete against other schools. It was a really good movie. I've seen movies that highlight the discrimination that the blacks have received from whites, and this one highlights the Hispanic version of discrimination. It's an underdog movie that ends, well, you got to see it, but it's a feel-good sports kind of movie. Thank
Is
you
it
for
based
that.
on a real story?
I believe so. Yeah, based on the San Felipe High School golf team. And then the Jesse Owens story, that is called Race on Netflix. Really good. That guy's from Ohio State. They regard him as he's got the track and field stadiums named after him. He was an Olympian. Also, Sprint, the world's fastest runner, is a documentary of the world's fastest runner and how they train and prepare to qualify for the Olympics. Let me tell you, it's really good. And I saw somebody had checked out, which I have not yet, the boy band special that dropped on Netflix about Lou Pearlman. So I want to get to that. I hope that's good. I just saw somebody had said they were watching it. They didn't say. But yeah, there's a lot. There's so much good stuff to watch. Telling you. Can you imagine when everybody starts creating their own content? I already got this much stuff to watch.
Again, there'd be a lot of shit out there, Kev.
Yeah, but when you find I really feel like right now, if you can weed through the shit, there is more better TV now than there has ever been.
Yeah, because there's so many options now.
Yeah,
I think it's good, and I think it's good and it's bad.
and I think what's great about it is now the fact that, because look, Only Murders in the Building, it's not rated, so I don't think you would have had Meryl Streep doing a long run on a regular broadcast TV show. You didn't used to see that often. It would be rare that you would see an A-list actor or actress drop down and do a whole season. They might do a guest one-off, but not often.
I definitely see your point. I think the bad thing is that things get lost in the sauce and don't ever get the chance they deserve to get because there's so much stuff, and sometimes you'll go through shit and crap and get frustrated. And
That's why I like talking about it, because then you can kind of start to weed it out, and you do start to find the things. Virginia had done Your Honor, and you'd said the first season was so good, then you'd said the second season fell off in a hard way, but you stuck it through, and you said that it didn't end that bad, and now who knows if they'll do a season 3.
Well, I think they might do a season 3 because now that it's not on Showtime, when they first did it, it was on Showtime. Now it's on Netflix, and I think a lot more people are getting exposed to it. And if you can ride it out through the first bad few episodes of season 2, it does kind of hit a lull in the beginning of season 2, and you're like, all right. But it picks right back up at the end of season 2, and then now we ended it last night. I hope they do a season 3 because it was really good.
Okay.
Bryan Cranston, amazing.
That's how I pick out shows. I love word of mouth, and I'm probably going to jump on that Shogun just because it won so many Emmys or nominated for so many Emmys. That's the one I'd like to hear. And so far, people have been saying Shogun is really good. I think that's also a Hulu show.
I got word of mouth for you, but I don't know if you won't do old stuff, will you?
What do you have?
A one-off episode, Tales from the Crypt, 1994.
Yeah.
I think you'll like it.
Okay.
I'll send you a link.
It's horror.
It is. It's. Well, I mean, what are you, a pussy? It's not.
I don't do horror.
It's not. What are
Do you even know me, Jay Bird?
He don't know Dick. He don't know either one of us.
Well, I mean, it's not going to make you.
My grandma lives in Kentucky, and Kevin's a pussy.
Yeah.
If you can't watch Tales from the Crypt,
I'm talking about I don't do any horror at all.
You're a pussy.
I am a pussy. You just meet me? Yeah,
He
baby.
is what he is.
Got me by the labia. That's it. All right, yeah, tomorrow, people pointing out that you've got Deadpool Wolverine. That's going to be amazing to see how that is. It has broken a record, I believe, for the most F-bombs ever in a movie. I think it's not just even the record for them. They've got 116 F-bombs in Deadpool Wolverine. Yeah. Most of any Deadpool, at least so far. So we'll see. That opens up tomorrow. No Name Movie Game, little Friday KVJ show. We're back on YouTube, bitches. We'll see you there then. Goodbye.
Me and Denny's might do a podcast later on today.
Oh, cool.
Because we can't do weird and whatever. People are out of town and stuff. And
Okay.
Just because we've been off so long.
I welcome it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys want to come on over?
Okay.
It's going to get real weird.
All right. Y'all be good. Keep checking out YouTube.